Hey friends, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm sharing with you guys how much I spend in a month. I know there are lots of videos like these going around, but instead of a month, it's usually how much I spend in a week. But I feel like a week can be a little misleading since it is such a small amount of time, and what you spend in that week can be really different to what you spend in other weeks. And also I feel like a lot of people don't include their fixed costs, things like rent and insurance. So yeah, today I'm going to include everything for you guys and show you guys how much I spend in a month living here in Germany. So if you clicked on this video and you're new, I'm Sylvia and I live here in Germany with my boyfriend. And I feel like living with someone else does help you save money and cut costs. But I feel like my boyfriend and I do live pretty frugally, and I wanted to show you guys what we spend or how much we spend on what things, and show you guys that you don't need to spend an incredibly amount of money on specific things, or you don't need to spend on some things at all. But you do have to keep in mind that we are still young, we don't have any children or any other big responsibilities like mortgages. I feel like the financial position or state you're in is also very dependent on you personally, where you are in your life, what's important to you. But something I wanted to talk about is the hedonic cycle or the hedonic treadmill. It is something that we are all on. The hedonic cycle basically says that our happiness really adapts to our situation. So whether you're extremely poor and can't afford rent, or you're the Queen of England, your happiness won't be that different, because yes, you have a lot of things, you live in a palace, but you get used to that. And maybe getting that new car initially gets you really excited and really happy, but then after a month, you're used to that car and you're used to those fancy things and expensive clothes, the expensive house, and the same as to being poor or having troubles. Of course, I'm not saying that being poor is okay or fun at all, but as humans, we have the ability to adapt to certain things and get used to certain things. So a lot of people think that having more money is going to make you happier, it's going to solve all your problems. And yes, money can solve a lot of problems. If you are hungry, if you have money, you can buy yourself food and feed yourself, but money itself won't make you happy. I feel like it is important to know that whether you have money or don't have money, we all have problems. They're just different. If you don't have money, of course, you constantly worry about where you're going to live, maybe what you're going to eat. And on the other hand, if you have a lot of money, you constantly maybe are worrying about whether your friends like you just because of your money, or how you can make more money. And of course, the existential problems of the poor person is objectively seen more dramatic, but subjectively, your consciousness, you will view both of those problems in those situations as just as dramatic and traumatizing. So more money isn't really going to make us happy, because we're on this hedonic treadmill and we get used to things. And it's also why we constantly feel like we need to buy new clothes. We want that kind of adrenaline rush. But that rush towards that new item is going to fade. That is inevitable. And then in order to get that rush again, we have to buy new things again. So I feel like it is important and interesting to know that there is this concept, or that's how our mind kind of works, so we can understand ourselves better. Okay, so enough about the hedonic treadmill. I want to also encourage you guys to track your expenses. I don't know if you've done that before. I have done that in the past quite a few times, and I feel like that is very important and helpful when it comes to knowing where you're spending your money and kind of budgeting a little bit. I recommend tracking your expenses for a month, and if you track over those 4 weeks, you will maybe realize, wow, I'm spending a lot of money on going out to eat. Maybe that is something that isn't as important to me and I can cut that down. Or you suddenly realize you still have this gym's membership or the subscription that you totally forgot you're still paying for and are never using. So I do recommend doing this sort of check in, to track your expenses. Now, I haven't done this for a while as well, so this is also a good check-in for myself. So let's get right on into what you guys have all been waiting for. Let me lift the veil on the taboo subject of money and show you guys exact numbers and amounts of how much I spend in a month living here in Germany. So I tracked a specific month from the 10th of July to the 10th of August. And what I'm going to go through with you guys first are the fixed costs. So this is money that I spend every single month and that does not change. It is mostly money that is automatically deducted from my bank account, and I don't really have to worry about it, but it's good to get an overview and a picture of how much you're spending there. So first of all, the biggest chunk and most obvious thing is rent. Now, of course, as I said, I live with my boyfriend, so we split our rent. So the numbers I'm going to share with you guys are all amounts that I have split with my boyfriend if it's things that we share, like rent or groceries or internet, things like that. So the rent that we pay here in Germany is 200 euros. This is a brand new apartment. I'm the first one to move in here and the quality is absolutely amazing. I love our location. $200 I personally think is very little per person to be spending on a beautiful high quality apartment. Then comes electricity, that is also billed monthly, and my part for that is 21 euros. Then the internet is 15 euros. We also have a Spotify membership that we share just to avoid those annoying ads, and that is 2.50 euros per person. Then there's this thing in Germany called GEZ, and it is kind of like a broadcasting fee, and that fee is counted per household. And my part for that is 8.75 euros per month. Then we also share a Netflix subscription that is 4 euros per person. Then when it comes to health insurance, I'm really lucky because I'm under 25 years old. So my health insurance still is able to fall under the family health insurance. So my parents actually pay for that. I'm very lucky and grateful for that. Otherwise, that would have been another 90 or 100 euros or so per month. But I do have a travels insurance, and that is 96 cents per month. Also, I forgot to mention that my website Catchy Cravings costs 4 euros a month. Then I also have a liabilities insurance that is 2.75 euros. Then also I have the fee for uni to be able to access their facility, the library, the cafeteria, but then also in the uni fee, we also have the transportation included, so I can use the city transportation here in my city, and that fee is 14 euros per month. And then I also have my monthly cell phone bill, and that is 10 euros per month. So my fixed costs added up together amounts to 282 euros and 96 cents. With the fixed costs, I wanted also to mention that we, for example, don't have a car. That really reduces the amount that we spend by a lot. We don't need car insurance, things like that. Then we're going to come to the variable costs. So things that change every single month, things like groceries. So firstly, we have groceries. We also have a kind of vegetable subscription called Eat Petite. They send us vegetables and fruit that is all organic to our house. I kind of counted that as groceries. So for groceries, we spend 179 euros and 70 cents. Then also I wear contact lenses, if you didn't know. Fun fact thrown in right there. And last month I had purchased new contact lenses. They always last for 3 months, I think. But broken down to a month, the contact lenses will cost me 18 euros and 59 cents. I guess you could put that to the fixed costs. Then I also had a few business expenses. These were just things I needed kind of for this YouTube channel, a few equipments that I needed. Usually that is just groceries for a specific recipe video, and that amounted to 18 euros and 96 cents. Then also we made a bigger drugstore purchase last month. With this drugstore purchase, there was also food, things like rice and coconut milk, just pantry items that you can store longer. And also for the drugstore purchase, since we went there anyways. I bought a few extras that I usually run out pretty quickly with, and that drugstore run totaled up to 41 euros and 25 cents. Then I also made an Amazon purchase. I think there was also food, I think peanut butter included in that, and that was 38 euros and 68 cents. So as you can see, our common theme with the variable costs is food. It's not only groceries, the drugstore had food in it, the Amazon purchase had food in it, and the variable costs amounted to 297 euros and 18 cents. I do want to mention here that for one, we buy organic, so that is going to be a little bit more expensive, but also we're just people that don't go out to eat a lot. For one, there's a pandemic right now, and we just like to save money and cook at home. Sometimes, of course, we will kind of make a date or a special occasion or event out of it and go out for dinner or so, but that is quite seldomly. We do like to do our dates at home and to save money that way. It doesn't mean that they're going to be less fun. And also I wanted to mention that I am doing a no buying clothes or accessories thing this year. So if you haven't seen that video, I talked about how I'm not going to buy any clothes or accessories until the end of 2020, which is why I don't have any clothes costs here. But without this challenge, I'm not someone that buys clothes very, very often. So yeah, but I thought I'd just mention it. So in total, I personally spent 580 euros and 14 cents this month. So I do want to say that these costs do vary. This is not how much I spend every single month, but I think this is a month that is quite representable of the other months. But through this analysis, I guess, I have found that I spend quite a lot of money on food. Not necessarily that I buy expensive food, but for this month specifically, I have found that I have been unconsciously stocking food. My pantry is extremely full of food, and I think we are able to skip this week's grocery run just because we just have far too much food in our pantry that we need to use up. The cost on food could definitely have been a little less. So yeah, this is how much I spend in a month. Hopefully this is interesting and is helpful in some way, and I hope that this inspires you to do a quick analysis on how much you actually spend in a month. I feel like this is very important to do at least once in a while just to stay on top of things. If you like this video or like videos on money saving tips or financial tips or things like that, then be sure to give it a thumbs up. Then I know that you like these kind of topics. And if you want to see more of me, I do a bunch of different things, then be sure to check out my channel down below and subscribe if you want to see more. I do videos twice weekly. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.